is Peter Brackley.
It's no easy task following Jan Fjortoft, but Wayne Allison, signed in the summer from Bristol City, is the goal scorer Swindon are hoping can spearhead their challenge this season. Allison is back in the Swindon attack after injury. He'll play alongside another newcomer, Steve Finney, a young striker Steve McMahon had noted from his days at Manchester City. The player manager himself has the anchor role in midfield, but with Paul Moody fit again, the former Oxford winger Joey Beauchamp is back on the bench. There's a new man up front for Oxford this season, although the face is certainly familiar. The nomadic Wayne Biggins, at 33, is now with his 8th professional club. Oxford's form has been erratic so far, but manager Dennis Smith has made just the one change from Saturday, the inclusion of Bobby Ford in midfield for Matt Murphy. Chris Allen provides pace on the flank with Paul Moody, last season's leading scorer, the main threat up front alongside Biggins. Tonight's referee for this highly charged contest, John Bramwood from Lichfield. Away we go then as Oxford kick off, attacking the goal to our left, hoping to recapture the form that elevated them to the top of the second division last season before they dipped so alarmingly in the second half of the campaign. But under Steve McMahon, well, it's been a cracking start by Swindon, 3 successive league wins without conceding a goal. Here's Bobby Ford. Shaker staying on his line. Worked by Robinson. Right forward with the cross towards Moody. He was very strong in the air. Certainly revealing his menace then, Paul Moody. Just signed a new contract with Oxford, which will keep him at the club for a further 3 years. That's really good news for Dennis Smith, the Oxford manager. Allison now. Movement from Finney. Taking up a good position too. Still Finney. And he's forced the corner off, and Elliott wins a throw. Here's Finney again. Now Robinson with the cross towards Allison, but Elliott is there. Back in from Horlock. Allison. Calls from the crowd, let it be said, for not from the players. And certainly no sympathy from referee John Bramwood. Horlock turning well. Allison. Flowing football here by Swindon. O'Sullivan through the middle. Still O'Sullivan. In comes Allison. Such a fluent move then by Swindon. Oxford defenders arguing with the referee, but it was almost a goal. O'Sullivan racing through the middle here. Watch too for Allison arriving on the scene. After that tangle with Ford when Oxford felt O'Sullivan should have been penalised. And there's Allison, and he just couldn't make a decisive contact. O'Sullivan and Mark Robinson. Allison. This is Seagraves and Culverhouse. McMahon. Again, Oxford haven't really closed him down. Now Finney. Did really well then, Steve Finney. All stemming from good work in midfield from McMahon. Who at the moment is running the game. A rare mistake by him then, though. Now Moody. Oxford themselves looking dangerous on the break. Begins. Robinson, though, getting back well. Now it's O'Sullivan to Culverhouse. Horlock. The third in the starting lineup for Joey Beauchamp. This is Ford. An exciting young player, Ford. He's done well here. Chance for a shot. And it was an excellent one, too. Well, no wonder they think so highly of him at the Manor Ground. Just 20 years old, former England youth international, who first broke into the first team a couple of seasons ago, and underlining there his value to Oxford. Really good effort. Now Bowden to McMahon. Certainly surprised at the amount of room that Steve McMahon is being given in midfield. McMahon and Bowden organising the free kick, taken by McMahon. Horlock to collect. Paul Moody in trouble. Finney with the cross. Allison's at the far post. And the shot from Robinson was charged down. By his own man. Allen now on the counter-attack. It's a good tackle by Horlock. But this is David Rush. 4 teammates in the middle. But how hard Horlock was working then. As we expected, it's a pretty frenzied local derby. Moody making an use of himself. Out by McMahon. And Allen winging it back again. Then forward with a cross. Moody's in there. Out jump though by Allison. Rush. Ball up with the clearance. After the initial effort from Wayne Allison. And you can't get away from Robinson. Halfway through the first half. Certainly opportunities at both ends so far. Robert Ford. Here's Biggins. Spotting the run of Chris Allen. So too, though, had Mark Robinson. Bags of endeavour from these two teams. And then you'd expect that from a local derby. Allison is a great turn. But Robinson was behind him. Wayne Allison, a tribunal decided his fee was $475,000 when he moved from Bristol City. Here's Seagraves to Robinson. It's a foul by Allen. McMahon hovering over the ball with Kevin Horlock. This is Horlock to curl it over. Horlock again. And up comes Carter. Did well that to fist it away. Now we'll have to scamper back. Under pressure from Allison. Much relief for Oxford. Tim Carter, who came on a free transfer from Blackpool at the start of the season, when Oxford had an injury problem with Phil Whitehead, their first choice. He'd only just signed for Blackpool, Carter. Dennis Smith knew him from his Sunderland days. He's done well here. Here's Allison now. He can take the knocks anyway, he's big enough. He's certainly doing his best to keep it flowing. Referee John Brownwood, Allison just having words with him there. Felt he should have had a free kick. The referee didn't think so. McMahon on now for Horlock. And O'Sullivan, a little triangle between them. Horlock again, setting himself up. And now Allison! And Allison again! Off the line by 4. What an escape then for Oxford. Right 4 to the rescue. Twice there. It was Allison who went close. Horlock with that first shot. Here's Allison now. That one's blocked by Robinson. And then it's away from just in front of the line by Mark Ford, the Oxford captain. Bowed in. And Given can't keep it in. Oxford's corner. Here is Elliott. Beaten to it though by Sean Taylor. But it's another corner. Taken quickly by Biggins. Allen. Out by Allison, but only as far as David Rush. Swindon's turn to defend now. In by Ford. A good save. Biggins with a header. But Shea Given was in the right place. His positioning then was exemplary. Finney! There's nobody up in support. And he really deserved better reward then for his persistence. I reckon he was right on the ball then. O'Sullivan for Allison. Oh, Finney had pulled the other way. They also have a very useful striker, of course, Swindon, and Peter Thorne, but he's out through injury at the moment. So they've still got him to come back. O'Sullivan. Also Martin Ling, another casualty. It's a good ball from Robinson. He's found O'Sullivan. Allison! What a super goal! 6 minutes to half-time. Oh, that's an absolute cracker. Well, Allison has hurt himself in the process. But just look at the fluency involved in this goal. Good running by O'Sullivan and a fierce finish by Allison. Robinson with that delightful little chip. O'Sullivan, well, his endeavour took him clear. It was a perfect cross, but then it took so much bravery from Allison. He's in a bad way at the moment. The Swindon hero, Wayne Allison, his first goal for the club since his move from Bristol City. And I tell you what, that took some courage then from Wayne Allison. Just look at the power on the header as it's fired across by Wayne O'Sullivan. He's clattered then by Elliott as he heads it past Tim Carter. Ford. Away from Horlock, still Ford, he's a nippy little customer. Robinson. McMahon's header, maybe as far as Mike Ford. But Oxford coming back strongly now. Moody to drive it across. Allen got the flick on. Just over the bar from Biggins. That was a near thing then. I thought just for a moment it was going to dip underneath the crossbar from Wayne Biggins. It's Moody who fires it across with some pace too. Just the nearest of touches from Allen initially. And then Biggins only just over the bar. Moody. Here's Taylor. Well played David Rush. Smith on for Ford. Allen away to his left. Free header though for Sean Taylor. But Taylor, Seagraves and Culverhouse have been pretty well occupied in the first half. It certainly hasn't been all one way. Horlock. A hectic and at times pulsating first half, and the two teams divided by a real corker of a goal by Wayne Allison 6 minutes from half-time. Swindon had the lead by a goal to nil. So off we go as Swindon start the second half. And I would think the message from Steve McMahon to his team will be more of the same, please. Certainly they were good value for their half-time lead. Oxford have made a change at the start of the second half. They brought on Matt Murphy in place of Chris Allen. Murphy who will slot into a midfield role. McMahon with the header. Collected though by David Smith. Certainly had their moments in the first half, Oxford, but need a bit more penetration around the box. Worked by Ian Culverhouse, who was outstanding in those first 45 minutes, marshalling their defensive troops. There's Robinson. It's a useful ball in too. From the new man, Murphy, who's just come on. They signed from Corby Town a couple of years ago. And he has popped up with some useful goals. It's a good effort by Ford. Really let fly that. A young man of rich potential. And he was so near then to an equalising goal. Albert Ford, who made it into the Ensley under-21 squad last season. It's a cracking drive. McMahon now driving forward again. Orlock. Seagraves. Well, he's got away with it. They've got to recover there. That's a tug on the shirt, surely. The free kick's been given, taken quickly by Finney to McMahon. Now O'Sullivan. Here's Allison. O'Sullivan again. It was all promising until the end product. Wayne O'Sullivan, who's in his second senior term with Swindon. He's only played around 35 games for the club, but it's a very useful prospect. Off target this time, though. Biggins. Goes Murphy, but not too far. McMahon up towards Allison. Got the strength to hold off Elliott. Plenty of support around him, too. O'Sullivan. Now Horlock. Robinson. That's Elliott's header out. So we'll put an end to another promising attack from Swindon. In goes McMahon. Perfectly timed tackle. Still McMahon. Bowden. Wasn't happy about the tackle from Rush. Allison. Well, he may be nearing the end of his playing career, but there's no doubt about his competitive edge. That's still intact. All arguments going on. I think that all stemmed from the tackle by David Rush when he confronted McMahon. Well, there's the tackle, which was perfectly executed by McMahon. Nothing wrong with that at all. Away from one tackle there, and then he's hit in the face by Rush. That's what started all the aggravation. The referee has sorted it out. Seagraves. Put forward though by Ford, only straight to McMahon. Finney losing out. McMahon went in very strongly. It's going to be a caution for Steve Finney, who kept going through then. There's Ford. That was, well, the tackle from McMahon was too late for that. It was the earlier incident that warranted the yellow card for Steve Finney. Oxford getting up ahead of steam now. David Rush. Good running by Biggins. Rush whipping over that cross. It's not deep enough though. Easily dealt with by Culverhouse. It's a promising spell for Oxford. Gilchrist to Robinson. Elliott and Moody both in the middle. Allison is back there defending. It's knocked it low by Moody. The goal's been given. I felt there might have been a tug there. Certainly that was a view of the Swindon players, led by Steve McMahon, protesting to the referee. Well, Moody wasn't asking any questions. 18 minutes into the second half, Oxford are back on level terms. But was there a tug there on Allison? The referee didn't think so. Here's another view of the goal. Now there's Allison, he's almost lost control. Or was he held down then by Elliott? Swindon certainly thought so. McMahon. Crowd has scored it Murphy. Biggins rather, even if he hadn't. There's Allison down the middle. Good sound defending by Matthew Elliott. Steve Finney. He's forced the corner. The Sheffield noise around the county ground. That'll be the signal for Taylor to go up, and Seagraves as well. Along, of course, with the aerial challenge of Wayne Allison in that 6-yard box. Orlock with the corner. Cleared it, Taylor. Still Taylor. Off the line. Oh, Moody, having scored at one end, has now rescued his team at the other. Taylor's chip. O'Sullivan's corner. Allison. Taylor stretching, but not this time. Now it's Swindon's turn to backpedal. But they came very close then. Taylor was blocked initially by Elliott. Paul Moody, the equalising goal, and now he's in the right place to clear away there. Bowden. Didn't seem to be a way through. He was at full flow then, Paul Bowden. I thought he was going to collide with the referee for a moment. It's just brushed aside. Culverhouse to O'Sullivan. Certainly a contender for man of the match. Sean Taylor. Wanting Finney to show for him. Here is Finney now. It's a lovely touch to Kevin Horlock. Well, Carter couldn't hold it, but there's nobody following in. Much to the relief of Oxford. Another intelligent piece of approach play from Swindon. Little touch off was from Finney, and Horlock thumping his shot straight into well, almost into the chest of Carter. His appetite is undiminished, Steve McMahon. He's still racing around. Les Robinson. Wanted rush in support. Moody lurking in the middle with Biggins. And Murphy. And the header is only just over the top from Murphy. Now Swindon will make that substitution. And it's Ed Murray. And it's Steve McMahon who's going off, and Joey Beauchamp is also coming off. A mixed reception, I think you could say. It was such a favourite with Oxford. Steve McMahon, just look at the sweat there. He has covered so much ground. Bowden. Down by Allison. Here's Steve Finney. Still Finney, twisting and turning. He can't beat Carter. Well, he's tormented Elliott. Turning him first one way, then the other. Clearly confident on either foot. The shot not quite strong enough. Taylor. Now Paul Bowden. Allison was the target. Horlock with such determination. Still Horlock. Well, it's to be ambitious, and it turned out that way. But he's clearly not afraid to strike from distance, Kevin Horlock. Has got one goal so far this season. But he'd have done well to score from there. McMahon now directing operations from the bench. Mike Ford. I don't think Biggins is going to reach this one, though. The head of Finney, but Gilchrist is there, and he's a bit sloppy in his distribution. But honours are even at the end of this fiercely contested and very passionate derby. Wayne Allison, whose goal And a marvellous header it was too. Steered Swindon in front before half-time. But then Paul Moody with a controversial equaliser for Oxford in the second half. Final score at the county ground, it's Swindon 1, Oxford 1.
Cracking battle. I think it's a local derby, a true local derby. Plenty of commitment, plenty of hard work, but some very good football as well.
So how did you lift them at half-time?
I told them that they'd got to carry on. They were still in with a chance. We'd definitely get chances in the second half, and we'd got to keep passing it. And I thought that, you know, my two lads in midfield, Davy Smith and young Robert Ford, had a tremendous game and controlled a lot of the game in the second half.
You're the first team to score against Swindon in the league. Are they going to be one of the front runners this season? Are they going to be there all the time?
Well, if you look at that, they were very difficult to break down. Normally we create a lot of chances. Today we created a couple, but you know, they were by far the best standing that we've seen up to yet in the division this year.
Very disappointed we didn't get 3 points, but having said that, we're still up there and it's an unbeaten start.
You had a scorching goal as well.
Great goal, great move, great movement. We knew when we went out to start the game that any movement would worry them, would put them under pressure. We proved that with a goal. It was up, back and through, and it was a great goal.
You're going to grumble about their goal?
Well, I'd like to, if it may. Can I?
Sure.
Well, first, I think it should have been cleared by 2 of our defenders. That was a major thing that we should have done. We didn't, and then when it's come to big way, and I thought he was manhandled, so to speak, in the box. Referee didn't give it, and it's 1-1. That's the way it is. I was just disappointed that we didn't take all 3 points.
Well, 2 very determined managers there, Mark. Always a hard-fought game and certainly plenty of talking points. I mean, a splendid goal Swindon scored, and great to see the big man get off the mark.
Oh, super goal, wasn't it? Because actually I think Steve McMahon had his own part to play in it, because it started when they broke up and attacked deep in their own half, Swindon. As he came from a clearance. Here we have it. I think McMahon gets on the ball, just plays a little ball inside into O'Sullivan. And really it went from there, went from good to actually better. Good ball here by Robinson, but the thing about it, Will, is that O'Sullivan continues his run. It's a super cross, and Allison does like all centre-forwards should do in that situation. He gets in front of the central defender and just gets his head on it. Quite a brave header as well, but it's
Takes
a super
quite a blow,
finish.
doesn't he?
He did, yeah, but you know, it was worth it, wasn't it, to get on the score sheet. But super play by O'Sullivan, because he didn't stop, he continued. He virtually dictated to Robinson where he wanted the ball played. But that was a great cross, and that is a super goal, and you know, when it started from your own half, which must be pleasing.
And I would have thought a weight off his mind too. But let's have a look at the goal that Oxford scored, because certainly a case there that there might have been a foul on Allison.
Well, I think there was, wasn't there? But that can't excuse the bad defending. I think Sean Taylor actually ducks under it. Culverhouse isn't quite sure because Taylor's ducked under it. And then Allison, when he went to retrieve the situation, actually got blocked. You see him go to get the ball, and he's virtually pushed over by Matt Elliott, the centre half, and Paul Moody strikes in the net. There's Taylor, ducks under it. It puts Culverhouse off completely, but it definitely was a foul. But in saying that, Moody was on the spot to score, and he doesn't really miss many from there, even at this level.
Well, obviously a very close game there, and I think a draw perhaps the best result.